Today we'll continue to be talking about conventions. If you missed our previous episode, you can go check it out. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Con Artist. I am Sarah.
And I'm Sherms.
And today we'll continue to be talking about conventions. If you missed our previous episode, you can go check it out. We talked about the top 10 anime con booth essentials. So if you're a new con artist or you're just starting out, you can check that out. We offer all our advice and our tips into making your booth look good and kind of be the most efficient you can have it for yourself. So today we'll talk about more of our convention experience.
How we even get a booth in the first place.
Yeah, and maybe like how we first started and what we learned from it and stuff like that. Yeah, so maybe for a start we can talk about how to even apply for booths and kind of maybe higher your chances of getting in.
This is like...
Or maybe after this our chances lower because you all get in, we never get in.
Yeah. So basically why we talk about getting in and not getting in is because some people might not know this because you guys frequent the art market scene more, but basically you have to apply and be chosen. It is basically the gist of it.
Because a lot of anime conventions, the artist alley, they're quite curated.
That's what we think.
That's what we think,
Yeah,
I guess.
But I mean, they say it's random, so you don't know how much percentage.
I guess
is
it differs
random.
for every convention. Yeah, it differs.
Yeah, so for like art markets, usually you just have to go to the website and then just reserve a table, and then they'll just give you a table. But then for
recent art markets,
for anime conventions, they do things a little bit more differently, especially the higher profile ones. So there's a whole application form you have to fill.
There's a deadline, so you have to watch for the deadline. Okay, so how to apply for an anime con booth, right? Usually they would open applications and it would be through Google Forms.
A majority of them through Google Forms, but they might
change
host
it
it
up or something. But from our experience, they're either Google Forms or
on their
email
website
or
itself.
something. And you'll have to go through an application process and then I guess you'll have to be chosen. Right.
You have to be one of the few chosen.
Yeah, it's always very stressful for us. It's like whether or not we'll get a con, because a lot of the times the conventions, there's only a few happening each year, and if you don't get into one, then since we're doing this full time, it might really hit us. And we might be preparing and hyping ourselves up for it, but if we don't get in, it's a major disappointment for us. But so how do you get in, right?
Yeah, so for application processes and stuff, we're basically mostly talking about how we apply in Singapore conventions.
I'm not sure how it is for others.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I have applied
Maybe
for
later.
a few overseas ones, but we can just talk about the Singapore ones first.
So Google Forms, they usually will ask for your usual stuff, your name, blah blah blah, your contact, your email, stuff like that. But I think one of the more important parts to take note of is they would ask for a portfolio of some sorts. So be it your Instagram, like your art Instagram, or your website, and what your merch looks like. So they have to go through this process of going through your art and what you're selling and whether it makes sense for their artist alley as well.
Because we have a few different kinds of artist alleys here in Singapore. I'm not sure if they are coming back as well, but the Game Start one, now we know it's called Game Start.
First episode we forgot the name.
So for Game Start, of course they prioritize games, game
like
merch, game fan art. Yeah, so you also have to take note of what appeals to your audience more.
Exactly.
So for a normal application, like what Sarah said, your name. So your name,
booth name is important.
yeah,
as well.
your name is very important. Your branding name, basically.
Your booth name, yes.
So I mean, you can go for just your name.
Sometimes if
that's
you're
how
in a
you wanna
group,
brand.
then your group name and stuff like that.
Yeah, so even the name itself is important, I think.
So yeah, what do you want to have in your portfolio or your Instagram or website? I think it is quite important to have a website if possible. And both of us, because we have an online merch store, so all our merch is already on the website, and it's easy for the organizers to access, to see the range of products that we're selling. And I think that's a really good portfolio. And if you don't have an online like merch store, you're not selling things online, right? It's also good to show a portfolio, just a basic website of like what you have to offer. Yeah,
I think when I first started out, I mostly just gave my Instagram my Instagram link, because it's good to at least have a social, or somewhere where you just put your art and just your art.
Yeah.
So Twitter is fine, but they're gonna see your retweets, they're gonna see your tweets. They just want to see your art style and whether it suits the artist alley. The best is if you have like photos of your booths, your tables, or your merch. That's the best. But your art as well should be fine. But yeah, you definitely have an advantage if they know that you frequent boothings and stuff.
Just basically easy access into what you do. Make it easy for your organizers to see what you have to offer. So if your Instagram don't not a personal Instagram where you mix your art and all that, something that looks professional, clean, and it's all about your art, your product, and your merch.
So even if you don't have a website, or if your Instagram is kind of not ready, as in like maybe if you're making a new Instagram and stuff and it's not ready, you can just do like a simple imagery album, like just a compilation of your art and some merch photos, and that's fine. That's easy to see. That's like best.
Or a blog, like even a blog works. And so
that's what they usually require.
And sometimes I realize that some of them also ask like, oh, have you been to our conventions before, or like have you boothed at our convention before?
In some conventions they have asked, or if they might have just said like, oh, have you boothed before? They just want to know if you have experience boothing.
So I wonder whether it affects their decision sometimes.
Maybe, especially for the higher profile ones, I guess.
You'll never know, I guess. Maybe it's good to have prior boothing experience if you're applying for bigger events like AFA or Doujima. If you go to just art markets at first, those are easier booths to get hold of, and perhaps you get that experience. You know how to kind of put out your merch in a tidy aesthetic manner, grow your brand a little bit more before attempting to apply for bigger conventions, I guess, because it can be a really huge blow when you don't get in.
And not just a blow mentally, but like on your wallet as well. I mean, if you do get in, because higher profile cons are very expensive.
They're much more expensive. That's right.
We won't go into like real numbers, but
when you apply.
I mean,
So it's good to kind of gain some experience before applying for bigger booths, or maybe you could even share with your friends that have boothed before. Maybe they can give you some advice, and that's also, then you can split the rent and whatnot.
I think splitting the rent money is the best way to go.
And I have like taken in booth partners where like I had one time where I was trying to booth at STGCC Comic Con, And then I was finding a booth partner because the rent can be quite expensive. And then a friend from Indonesia flew over just to booth with me. And that was her first convention, if I'm not wrong. And I think after that, she continued and got to know more friends in the community as well. And we are still friends right now. I really miss her and hope one day we can all be together boothing again. Yeah, and then there's been a few times where I've taken in first time boothers and kind of shared my advice and kind of watch them grow as well. So it's been really fun. Yeah,
I think splitting and sharing booths with friends is fine, but always remember that if you want to change anything in your booth, or you know, if someone is joining or what, always let the organizers know as well. Because I know some are really strict.
Yes.
And some, especially those that require portfolios, they will only see what you show them, and they might not want
so when you apply,
someone else to,
you have to include your booth partner as well.
And
And then because usually at bigger conventions, they would have the booth layouts ready before the event. They would number your booth, and they will actually put your booth name as well. So that's very important, because when you apply with someone else, like if I applied with my friend, I want like Sarah Thursday and Paka merch, so they know both of us are there. So when you apply, remember to apply with your friend, and not just like add in someone suddenly.
And then so that's basically the main portions of what they might ask you when you're applying for a booth. And then when you when you submit your booth applications, you probably have to wait until applications are over, and maybe like a few weeks to months before you actually know if you get in. And usually, I mean, they usually tell you quite early so that you can prepare your stocks and your items. And just and when you do get that golden ticket email, I mean, then that's when the con stress starts.
Okay, you get excited first,
and then after that you realize, okay, I have a lot of things to do. But then it doesn't end there. There's contracts to sign.
Some of them can be like they require like a full extension or list of what you'll be selling there, how much, how many, and stuff like that. I mean, and you might not have all the numbers, but try to give an accurate number. Because they just want to make sure maybe nothing illegal gets sold, and they can like keep track. Make sure nothing weird goes on your booth.
And also there's the whole copyright issue thing as well. I think we all know that there are some titles where it's a no-go zone, and so if
watch out for that.
So if they do find out, I mean, you're already accepted, but I guess they just want to know what you're selling, so that they can tell you, you can't sell that. So it's good to have just a list, a general list of what you have,
photos of your merch, or just mock-ups,
and then some places they might offer rentals for certain things, like if you need another chair for a third artist, or if you need an extension cable or a PowerPoint. So some places offer it, not every not every convention. So you got to decide on things like this, like
PowerPoint plugs and stuff.
Like if you've got an iPad, are you gonna have to,
or like lighting
to charge it
and stuff like that?
So lighting for conventions is another thing, because in Singapore is very small, and then we only have like two places where conventions happen, Suntec and MBS, Marina Bay Sands. So we know the lighting there. Basically it's fine. The lighting there is
it's okay.
It's okay, it's fine.
It's okay.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. That might not be the case for some other places. part we don't really know. But just in general Singapore, the lighting is fine.
Yeah. But if you need like better lighting for your prints, let's say, because sometimes the lighting can be very warm and maybe it's not accurate to your print color and all that, you could bring your own lights to kind of help with that. Maybe a battery operated one, like a smaller standing one. So
I think that I think it's also good to go to a con first before you apply for that con, so that you know roughly how the vibe is.
Scout first.
Yeah, because game conventions tend to be darker.
Oh yes.
A lot of RGB lighting. Yeah,
because like the gamer vibes.
And stuff.
Yeah.
So just take note of things
once.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I booted there once as well and it was quite dark. So I had to bring my own portable lights. So it's good to have an idea of the place that you're selling. Yeah, so it's good to scout out and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think it's very fun though to like kind of scout and then like have this little excitement that hey, maybe next time I'll be boothing here. And it's also fun to like prepare for the next con and all that. Yeah, so you don't have to rush into it. Like kind of get a feel of what's going on, and yeah, you can apply for the next one.
Yeah, and then you can just like, I mean, you're able to see the audience. What kind of audience do you want to target as well? Yeah,
and maybe the general vibe of what merch is sold there. Because especially for the game conventions, because I don't do much fan art or on like games, so I think my merch didn't do very well there either.
Yeah, I saw a lot of
sitting
fan
there.
art.
Yeah, so yeah, I just kind of take note of the general theme as well.
Yeah. So then, so some places they give you like the rent, like whether you want to rent certain items or and stuff. So then you gotta sign like a few forms. And then you send it over and stuff. And then the days leading up to it, you gotta build hype. And then you gotta build hype, you gotta
promote like mad.
Like what we said in the previous episode, like do merch catalogs. And show previews of your merch.
Or IG stories, you can show sneak pics and stuff like that. And TikTok. Oh man, TikTok is gonna play such a big part in promoting conventions now that I think about it, because pre-COVID it wasn't that like,
it wasn't very popular in that time.
So
I mean we didn't even have Instagram Reels in 2019. Instagram Reels came quite late for Singapore.
That's right. So like plan your content, promotion content, plan your merch. Merch takes time to produce. Don't rush it. Like for me, t-shirts it could take from 2 weeks, it could take to 1 month. And I'm even producing it locally. So imagine if you're producing it overseas. Always take into account the time of production.
Guys, always order samples. Always order samples first. Okay, to test out your product, because you don't want to have like 50 pieces of something that you can't sell. So like always do things as early as possible. Don't procrastinate. Although I'm quite a procrastinator sometimes, like plan things out. Like if you have a journal, I love journaling, and sounds so boring, but like journaling is the most important thing in keeping my business organized and keeping a good timeline of all my events. I need to get ready. When do I start promotion? When do I start making merch and stuff like that? So usually I would say for big events I would give myself at least 1 to 2 months of preparation. And I'll start printing things at least 1.5 months ahead. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, because most items take at least a month.
Yeah.
And then you don't want any delays and stuff like that. So
Yeah, take into account all these, because I think a lot of fresh con artists, they don't know how long things take to print, and very often things will not work out so smoothly. You might have misprints, and then might be the wrong color, wrong paper, wrong material. So you really need to take into account all these mistakes. So I think give yourself more time is always very important, so you don't like stress out before the convention starts.
there's this term called like con crunch.
Con crunch.
Con crunch.
Con crunch.
Yeah, but I mean, thankfully nowadays there are places to get merch done locally. No, locally.
Oh yes.
There are some places to get merch done locally, which is like crazy for me to think, because I I'm gonna sound so old, but I come from a time where people were like making
long time ago.
people were making like laminated bookmarks.
Oh yes.
And then they're hand drawn as well. They're not even like
how many years
stuff.
ago?
It was like, I don't know, like 2016, 2015, 2016.
I think earlier than that.
I mean, there wasn't even huge. It wasn't even
That's
a huge
true.
scene here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy to me to think that you can get acrylic keychains made here.
For me, I print most of my things locally because firstly, I'm afraid of my designs getting stolen. Secondly, it's easier to time manage and easier to communicate with my printers. And then lastly, you're supporting local business. So I try to get most things done locally. Yeah.
I also feel that nowadays because of the whole pandemic and stuff like that, it's better if you can support local. Hashtag support local. Yeah. And I mean, we're all struggling businesses. We're all trying to survive. So it's always good to see if you have a local option first.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier as well.
Yeah, but the con is it might be more costly. So just balance out your options. Yeah, check out what fits your current budget, because like 8 years ago I started with just stickers and prints. So just figure out what's your budget, make the most out of it, and then you can slowly grow from there.
Okay, so
where were we?
okay, so
what were we talking about?
yeah, so and then after that, one more thing is that in the days leading up to the convention, you're gonna get a placement map, and then this placement map,
that's always really exciting.
because then you'll know if you're close to your friends and stuff, and if you're not,
it's okay.
It's okay. I mean, you can
get to know new friends.
Yeah, and then you can like go and see who are your booth partners. Maybe even make friends with them before the event. So that you guys can
setting
help each
up
other
and stuff.
So yeah, that's the general gist of how applying for a convention here in Singapore works.
We're still on that.
Yeah. So for overseas, I'm not very sure. There are definitely a lot of.
What was your experience trying to apply overseas, and where did you apply?
Okay, so I'm sure there might be some overseas table artists conventioning as well, and so I applied for Smash in Sydney, Australia, and I applied for Fannie Mae.
Oh, that's in US?
Yes. The way to apply for Smash is pretty much the same thing.
Google Forms?
No, it was if I remember correctly, it was on their website. And then I was basically just waiting for them to open up application. Yeah, it was pretty much quite similar, although there is the whole planning of like, how do I get my merch to another country? So then I managed to get in. The application is mostly the same. But then for Fannie Mae, I'm sure some of you guys know, it's a totally different process from what I'm used to. From what I can remember. The thing is I didn't get into anime.
When was this? A few years ago?
It was the one that was cancelled because of the pandemic.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So right before the pandemic started.
And then this is the first time I actually tried to apply for a table in the US. So my account is definitely from a beginner's point of view. But basically I had to give the same portfolio, but this time it was more art instead of merch.
Oh, okay.
And then the way their system is done is very if I had to put it to words, it's very art school like. So they give you a point system.
That's so scary.
Okay, so this is me explaining how a US convention works, or at least for fanime. So they do like a point system, and then they will give you like your art will be scored based on like aesthetics or like anatomy. Over 100 or something like that, or like whether the appeal or something like that.
So
I can't really remember. It's like 2-3 years ago. Yeah,
they're just judging your art.
and then from there the amount of points you have is basically whether you can get in. That's my view of it. If anyone has a clearer picture of it, I would love to know as well. And then basically from there they'll just pick the high score ones.
That's so
until
scary.
until they fill out all the slots.
Oh,
And then for me I was put on the wait list.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so I basically like I'm just checking right now. I basically just gave my portfolio, which was my Instagram, which probably wasn't the best idea. And then I gave them like 4 different samples of my art, my best art. Yeah, and then like just a small description. Oh yeah, we never really talked about it, but have a good description of your brand.
Oh yeah,
Like
they
really-
always ask
they
for
will-
a short paragraph of what your brand offers.
Yes, they will
That's
always
true.
ask for a description of what you sell. So it's very good and very handy, and I should heed my own advice and do it.
It changes every single time.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's how it worked for me. And
How would you put a description, like
for me,
an example to give
Like-
to them?
I mean, I just say that I do art and merch based on Japanese and Chinese, like Asian folklore and culture, and I'm very inspired by these things. So yeah, my art features that kind of thing.
For me,
Obviously I write it a lot better, but
for me, I focus on what I'm selling. So I'll be like, Sarah Thursday is an independent artist label. We've been open since 2013, and we sell various merchandise based off our original and tribute illustrations. So they range from stickers to t-shirts and even to hoodies and whatnot. So yeah, that is a generic explanation I will give them. And also maybe I will explain a bit about my illustrations, like it's more like dark and monochromatic vibe. It's based on some Japanese and Chinese elements as well. So yeah, that's the overall vibe I would give to them. And then once they see your portfolio, it all makes sense.
yeah. So reading the very very vague description I gave, so I just wrote like, my brand mainly focuses on creating original artworks and merchandise inspired by Asian mythology and folklore.
Yeah.
A lot better than what I just said. But
Okay.
yeah, so that's basically my experience with overseas conventions, and I would love to do more.
How was Smash?
Smash was great. It was pretty much the first time that
when overseas.
Yeah, with all my merch. So I
Yes.
packed like only 2 sets of clothings.
Everything else is merch.
Everything else was merch.
Merch is priority.
Yeah, I definitely went over the limit with my luggage, and I had to split into my partner's luggage as well. Yeah, and then but it was fun. It was like a normal convention, but everyone was so nice. Really, everyone was great. Everyone was so nice, and I really want to go back.
Like, right, the year that the pandemic hit, we actually were like, let's go smash together.
We applied.
We applied,
We applied.
Oh yeah, we applied, and then everything got postponed, right?
So the first time I applied, the one that I got in, I was actually on the wait list as well. So
Keep trying.
yeah, keep trying because I almost
Keep
didn't
trying,
get an
and you'll grow every year. So keep trying.
So yeah, there's this thing called the wait list that is it happens in Singapore conventions as well, where if it just so happens that an artist decides to back out, then hey, whoever's next in line on the wait list gets it. So yeah, never give up hope, but don't be too disappointed.
Don't pin too much hope either.
Especially for the bigger conventions.
Yeah, so I was talking about Comic Fiesta. So I think I booked there 2 years in a row. Was it 2018 and 17 maybe?
Okay.
Yeah, and Comic Fiesta was held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So how the application went, I can't really remember. It's either through a website application or Google form, and then they will reply you saying, your application has been safely received, and then I think after a while they'll tell you if you got in or not by email. And usually they also offer rental, like for extra tables with like lockable cabinets. That's my favorite part. Like, I get to lock all my merch inside. So yeah, that Comic Fiesta is probably one of my most memorable experiences in conventions, because it's such a, if you've never been there or never heard of it, and if you've been to AFA, Comic Fiesta is so much bigger. I don't even know how to explain it.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't been to Comic Fiesta before. I've heard a lot about it.
I can't remember how many like convention halls there are, right? But I think 1 or 2 convention halls is solely for artist alleys.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just solely for artist alleys, and there are different tiers. So there's one section where it's just tables, so those are cheaper. And for me, I got the premium booth because I have a lot of racks and like a lot of bulky merch, so I need the space. And I think there might be even bigger booths for maybe exhibitors. I can't remember. But yeah, so basically there was a premium booth and the usual normal booth, and it's so huge. There are probably about 3 to 4 halls just for Comic Fiesta alone. And then because it's so big, people from all over the world will come, like pre-COVID, they will come to the event to booth. And that's where I met a lot of my international friends that we've been following each other on Instagram for years, that type. And it's just so fun because you finally get to meet people from US, Australia, Russia, Malaysia, and even like a lot of us Singaporeans will actually go there as well. So it just feels so homely, and you get to meet all your friends that you've never met before. And then after the convention, you can go to amazing places to eat dinner together, because KL is so known for their food. Oh gosh. Yeah, so that's really my favorite part of going to an overseas convention.
Are there, other than Smash, are there any other kind of like convention that you want to try? I know I have one, a convention in Tokyo called Design Fiesta, and the great thing about that is that it's not just art.
It's not just anime stuff.
It's not anime. That's the only way I can describe it. It's not anime.
It's just anything art related.
So clothing, crafts, shoes, food,
paintings,
anything original. So,
so
like
cool.
accessories and stuff, and they have like 3,000 to 5,000 booths. Like it's crazy. It's really really crazy. And then they have it like I think 2 or 3 times a year, and they welcome international people.
I just want to go there and shop.
Yeah, honestly, we should just go there and shop.
I just want to go there and shop.
We should just go.
Yeah.
It's. I think I went.
Bring an empty luggage.
I went there twice, and it's like it's the kind of thing where you definitely can't walk. You definitely can't walk the entire map. So you just have the good thing is that they are placed in certain ways. So like the food, all the original kind of food and stuff is all in one area. The fashion is here. The art and illustrations are here. So yeah, the great thing about that is that it's all their original art. There is no like fan art and stuff, which is something that I really like.
I heard Japan just opened up. I'm not sure.
Oh, like today.
Today?
Like, from the time we're filming this today.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just announced it today. I don't know. Can go little.
We'll see, and then we'll come back with an episode talking all about it.
So, I don't know if I want a booth there because
I just want to shop there.
Yeah, I just want.
You
to
can
shop,
booth there.
shop
I'll shop there.
And then the crazy thing is that it's 3,000 to 5,000 booths, right? And it spans over 2 days. And the thing is that some of the artists they are only there for 1 day.
Oh, like they switch out, right?
They switch out. Like a lot of them switch out. Maybe the ones that are that rented the singular.
It's gonna be like a marathon
booths.
there.
So yeah. So the other place I was telling Sarah she should at least go to once is Comic Market, Comic.
Oh,
but that one is like
I'm shy.
But that one is really like like preparing for war.
It's like so competitive.
But I feel like it's definitely something you guys should try out.
I might go there as a visitor.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah.
Together
just
with
go
Design
there
Festa, and then I'll just go broke.
Maybe we should just like I don't know. Should we film it?
Oh yeah.
Maybe
Maybe a special. Our own special.
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, in terms of boothing at a con, I've always had this. My goal was actually to booth at Anime Expo, and I think that is the biggest US convention. I think so, other than Fanime, I think. But yeah, Anime Expo is like crazy.
I think the hardest thing about boothing overseas is the logistics for me, because my merch is so bulky.
I mean, I've definitely seen international artists. They DHL, they FedEx their
it's just additional
stuff.
cost, I guess.
Yeah,
and then
I mean, it's
you
all,
have to mark your merch up.
It's all business expenses and stuff.
Yeah. So those are the logistics you have to think about if you want to booth overseas. But if you sell small little merch, then good for you.
Yeah, so Anime Expo is definitely one that I want to try, but I'm a little bit
nervous.
Yeah, I guess you can say, or you can say I'm a little bit intimidated by it because it's very hard to get in.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy and hard to get in. Like I stayed up at 3 a.m. to try and get, but I never got it. It's sold out instantly.
The booths are really huge there, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's like 2 times the size of our tables here, at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have friends who have told me like their stories about boothing there. How I should try it once.
Maybe one day we can share a booth.
Oh yeah, definitely. That is if we somehow get. Yeah, it's crazy because I don't know if you know, but they do based on a passing down system. So basically, if you get a booth for that year, I don't know if they're still doing this, but this is what I hear. Correct me if I'm wrong. But how they do it is that if you do have the booth for like, let's say 2017, you can either on the day itself or whenever, you can say that you're on the booth next year. Like you can kind of they have
reserve the next year,
something like that. But basically, it's for returning artists, and then like for artists that aren't returning or if they have space for more, then they will open up to the public.
Wow, okay.
So yeah,
interesting.
I know that many artists here and everywhere else, they unfortunately, because of the pandemic, they have to give up their spot, you know. So it's definitely going to be like crazy. It's definitely going to be a battle, like the moment everything opens up and stuff.
Really chaotic. But
And
we're very excited for it, for conventions and events to come back again soon.
Although the US might be a bit difficult. I don't know.
Maybe not too soon. I really want to go to Smash.
Yeah, Smash is great. I really enjoyed my time at Smash, so I hope I get in again.
Yeah, let's try next time.
Yeah, and I guess one last thing I want to say is that when you're overseas, always think about the currency.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to mark things down or mark things a bit higher. So yeah, have to take into thought.
And like for any Singaporeans who are interested, always think about whether you are confident enough to be able to at least break even. You know, because the flights are expensive.
Yeah.
And we really...
There's also a business expense you need to earn about.
We can talk so much about like, oh, you know, like overseas conventions, you know, like, oh, you know, it's so fun, it's great. But
you think about the business.
Yeah, you gotta think about it.
Will it be worth it? Or, you know, sometimes if you want to extend your trip, kind of take it like a holiday,
that's fine too.
Maybe it's more relaxing in that sense.
Yeah,
so yeah, all these are things to think about.
Yeah,
but yeah, definitely something very exciting,
and hopefully something that we'll be able to do
very soon. Yeah. All right, shall we end here?
I think, is there anything else you want to cover?
There's so many things else I want to cover. We didn't even get to the question on our first time boothing.
Oh, we can save that for another day.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll end it here. Something really exciting is that the next episode there will be someone else. So
she's behind the camera right now.
So yeah, look forward to that.
Yeah,
and,
we'll have our first ever guest.
Yay.
And we don't have to talk so much anymore.
I think by now you're probably sick of us.
Alright, so we'll see you next episode, and we hope you enjoyed some of our experiences in the local Singapore and overseas con. And
thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye bye.